Hey, how are you? Hi, you guys. Hey, how are you guys doing? I'm like everywhere here. Hold on a minute. We're not done yet. Who is here already? Oh my goodness. I cannot see anybody here. Oh boy. Oh, this is good. This is good. Hi. Yes, I can see you now. When you guys use a chat box, it would be cool. Yeah, we are actually give me 2 more minutes. Yeah, 2 more minutes. Okay. We're right on time. So I'm so thankful that you are here with me. But I'm trying to set up all of this live stream. I am gonna give you guys a if you want to join me here. We are also live on LinkedIn, I believe, but not yet. I haven't pushed the button yet, but I'm going to go ahead and share with you that one. And also, I believe on my YouTube channel, see there, that one. And also Clubhouse. I'm going to go ahead and start my Clubhouse. This is so much fun. Oh boy, it's so much fun. Okay, so let me go ahead and start my Clubhouse. It's just going to be about 45 minutes, guys. Go ahead and use the chat box to introduce yourself and say hello to everybody. Well, I'm going to set up here. I need a couple more minutes. I just got off a phone call a while ago, so let me just go ahead and settle down here. All right, guys. So glad to see you. Hi, Tiffany. Come on up. I don't know how to make you come up. Hold on a minute. Let me make you come up. Oh, because the moderator, you got to be moderator. Okay. Hi, Tiffany. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Help me set up the stage in the Clubhouse, my girl. All right, you guys. Thank you so much. Hi, Big Mike. Come on up. Come on up. I am actually streaming live right now on, not on LinkedIn yet, but I am on the back of the studio right now. So yeah, go ahead and help me set up the stage right now in the Clubhouse. And I am going to put this up here so you guys can hear me and turn down the music here a little bit. All right, I'm going to go live here on LinkedIn. Let's see. Are you all on the Zoom right now? Hi. Okay. Oh, you are? Okay. I'm going to go ahead and send you the link for the Zoom. I think you guys have already have it, right? But just in case you don't have it, you're listening right now. Let me go ahead and give you 2 of them. And I'm also on YouTube. So yes, I'm a viewer. And you love the technology here. Hi, Rosalind. How are you?
I am most wonderful. Looking forward to it.
Okay, great. Yeah. Invalid request. Okay, what's going on there?
What's up, Rob?
Sorry, say what?
I was saying hi to Rosalind and Nicky.
Yeah, you know what?
You know, you put it in the chat and we can copy it from there.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. You're right. Oh my God, I didn't think about that. Here, go ahead and copy it there. Somebody please help me. Go ahead and yeah, I believe you don't need and also I am on LinkedIn stream live.
Hey, Nikki, send it to me and I'll post it.
Go ahead and look at the chat box, please. Yeah, look at the chat on the chat room. Because I'm kind of like super multitasking right now. Okay, that was a Zoom room, right? I am on LinkedIn Live. So you guys can also look at it on the chat box. All right, there's already a couple people here. Hardcore. Thank you guys for coming in here. All right, guys, I think, give me one more minute. Let me just get settled down here, guys. Thank you so very much. Send me a chat box here, you guys, if you guys can hear me and see me. I just want to have a housekeeping little send me just like an okay, like a thumbs up or something like that up here on my Zoom and YouTube. Can you just give me a thumbs up and say, yeah, we can hear you, Nikki? Okay, because I'm going to start sharing screen. All right, guys. Those of you who are on my Zoom, really gonna have a good treat. Okay, great. All right. Yeah, I don't have my glasses right now, guys, so I cannot read all of the fine print right now. But yeah, welcome, 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 welcome. I'm gonna go ahead and start sharing screen right now. And I hope that you guys are gonna love it. And hold on, how do I screen? Okay, there it is. All right. So, and then send me another check and say, yeah, Nikki, we can see your screen. Perfect. Okay. So, guys, thank you so very much. This is just a wonderful thing. I'm going to stay here and hold the fort for about 30 minutes. So thank you so much for choosing to be here, guys. It's Friday and you chose to be here today. Then out there being partying and stuff like that. And then it's just, listening to this live saving discussion and, we're live streaming this, segment about situational awareness, really, to all the platform that I can think of right now. But right now I'm just kind of like testing the water. If this is great, I'm going to do this regularly. Yes, you heard that right, regularly for 30 minutes, because I've been doing this before when Clubhouse wasn't around, when live streaming on LinkedIn hasn't been around, only YouTube. So yeah, I'm really excited to be here, very thrilled. So kudos on you to being here. Thanks for being here. My name is Nicky Dare. I have been advocating safety and survival for the past decades. When it comes to this subject, truly, I'm super passionate. And here's why, because I know how it felt being vulnerable and helpless in the very, very darkest moment of life-threatening situation, when your attacker about to assault you and nearly take your life away, worse, right? Worse, even worse, nearly rape you, all within seconds, a blink of an eye. In my mid-20s, I recall this, when somebody tried to break into my bedroom window in the middle of the night, plow through without any warning, woke me up. I was frozen in place, not knowing what to do. That's the worst anyone in that kind of situation would ever experience. And believe me, I know. I was there. I was in that position. I wrote this entire incident in my early book called The Audacity of Veracity. If any of you had bought that book, yeah, you must have read it already. It's in chapter 5. The chapter 5 called The Little Cat and the Big Bear. So since then, I realized how much vulnerable I was and decided to start my personal development journey by overcoming my own fear, developing my confidence, and training more self-protection and self-defense, including those in sports and also in the outdoors. You guys know that I'm an outdoor girl. That was 3 decades ago, guys. Fast forward, here I am. I am so fortunate that I'm still alive. I didn't know what I didn't know back then. So complacency, apathy, and denial, those are the top 3 common barriers to a good situational awareness. And I could not just, hold on a minute. Let me just admit, Rosalind here. Guys, I usually have Susan and a couple other gals that help me out with my technical stuff, but this was a last minute pull through. I promised you guys I was going to do this next weekend, but guess what? I I was able to pull this through this tonight, and I'm excited that I'm with David Gray, my very good friend that you guys get to meet later on, and really excited to be here with you all. But I'm gonna plow through this one. So let me see. Usually I have somebody to click on my hold on. Can you guys see my slide? I hope so. Let me see my slide. Can you guys see my slide? Can you guys see anything? Oh, let's see. Hold on.
Yes, I see your slide.
Oh, you did? Okay, so you're not seeing me. I hope not. Oh, I want you guys to learn.
Yeah, I see you in the upper right corner.
The right. Okay, that's good. All right. Thank you, Mike, for confirming that. 10-4. All right. I see somebody driving, so please drive carefully and safely. I don't want you to. I think that's Tiffany. Hello, girl. How are you? Oh my gosh, she is hardcore. All right. So you do see Mike's slide. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. So situational awareness is really something that been around for a while, guys. It's just that nobody really talk about it and really have this as an application, applying it to your what do you call this, to your everyday life, right? So as a civilian myself, I've never been in the military, of course not, and I would love to. If I would have had the chance to, I would, but no. I've been around with a lot of people, those who have been in military, and namely the Marines. That's who taught me how to wear all of this mental combat mindset and things like that, survival mindset every day in my life. And I must say that I owe my life to each one of them who had taught me throughout the years along the line of this self-defense, because without them, I wouldn't know what I would know now. So situational awareness does not apply to what you can see. Having good perception for what is around you via your sense of touch extremely is useful. And there are some basic practical exercises that will combine your sense of touch and your memory. For example, right? You may set up some small obstacles and then turn out the lights. This is just practical that I can share with you right away here in this conversation, guys, because I know that we have a really limited time here together. You may set up some small, in a contained space, obstacles, and turn out the lights at your home front, for example, at your home, in your living room, for example, right? You then carefully navigate by your sense of touch and memory of that, the obstacles, right? And this seems made easy and very intuitive, right? But it is much harder than you think. You gotta have to repetitive, with repetition. You gotta have to, with training, with continuous training, and also repetition training. And this becomes easier and makes more sense for you. Now, I know it may, to some of you, don't make sense right now what I'm saying. That's okay. Just go along with me right now with the flow, okay? But it will make sense. I promise you at the very end of this whole thing here session. So more importantly, if posed with this situation in our real lives, right, you would be prepared for that situation, right? For that circumstances that you're in. Similarly, in the situation where you're not able to see, right? In the dark, for example, imagine that you've been spraying the ice with pepper spray. I'm going to give it to you right, bro, just like that, right in the face, because, I'm not going to like hide in the corner and cut to the chase now. Having a snapshot of what the world around you looks like, and that ability that you already have, guys, all of us have that. The ability to navigate with your eyes closed is a very invaluable skill. I practice this almost every time, whenever I can. And let me tell you, it does take practice. Practice makes you and takes you to the next level of your proficiency skill, a proficiency level. Situational awareness is a teachable and learnable skill. And I must say, it is, okay, I'm being distracting right now. I'm going to turn off all of the notification. I don't know how many of you, every time you're looking at your phone, looking at your screen, there's a lot of notifications flying around everywhere. There's no one size fits all solution, guys, for sure. There's no one size fits all solution. When push comes to shove, it will be your situational awareness that will have to help you identify, recognize and diagnose the situation and the threat, and find the best options and available cover. Because I say that because there's a lot of us have been through in the intruder, let's say, or active shooter situations, which I'm very passionate talking about that and teaching that, training preparedness as well, by the way. So your situational awareness will be informed by what your senses are picking up, also intuition, the gut feeling and all of that stuff. If any of you have any questions, you can ask me on the chat box, but unfortunately I cannot see, I will not be able to read it because I'm right now trying to navigate. Oh, hold on a minute. I'm up here at the in the clubhouse, and I see Kim, I see my friends, I see Alyssa. Come on up, ladies. We're all huddled around here in Zoom. So yeah, come on up. If you go to chat room on the clubhouse, there should be a link. You guys can join the party with me here, with everybody here, so we can see each other's faces. Yes, instead of avatars. All right. I am live on LinkedIn as well, so I don't know how that goes. And YouTube. So yeah, I'm just loving this, guys. Yeah, so if you have any questions or anything like that, just go ahead and then put in chat room here on the Zoom, or also in the chat room here on Clubhouse. I can probably kind of like scan through when I take a break a little bit here when David is here. He is not here, by the way, guys, not yet. He said that he'll be running a little bit late, a few minutes late. So, hang tight. We are sometimes at danger, most danger, when we are at most safe, simply because we know and we are aware of our surrounding and nothing happens. And we're kind of like, okay, we're complacent, basically, right? And nothing happens. We have our guard. Up. Hold on a minute, guys. Hang on. And we have this hyper complacency, and to the other end of being vigilant. I love that word, right? Staying, I always say stay safe and staying vigilant. Like probably a dismay or apprehension. How many of you know what I'm talking about? Flash your mics. Over here, just kind of like, drop me a, yeah, I know, or drop me a, what do you call this? A thumbs up or something like that, that you know what I'm saying right now. So I know that you are with me. Okay, hold on a minute. Let me change the slide. Like I said, usually I have somebody to do the slide. This is like a last minute kind of thing, guys. So hang tight. Okay. All right. I'm changing the slide. Hi, you guys. How are you? I see everybody here, so I'm so happy. Hi. Can you guys see me, by the way? Because I'm like showing slides. So do you guys see me?
Yeah, we can see you.
Wow. Okay. Is
What's
that
going
good?
on?
I'm not decent, probably. I
can see you live. This is LP.
Hey, LP, how are you? We met today.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let me just go ahead and change the slide here, guys. Like I said, I mean, this was a last minute put together event because I know that I want to give you guys, hold on a minute. Whoa, no. Okay. All right. If everybody can mute yourself, please, that would be great, because I can hear something in the background. Yeah. So where was I? We're talking about complacency. We're talking about hyper complacency, right? So when you become aware of your surrounding, you can effectively determine what can be used as a weapon and whatever become a potential obstacle. Knowledge requires you, right, to have that constant attention, right, to what is happening in that environment. This is exactly what we're talking about right here. If a dangerous situation arises, something like, okay, this is a bad thing, you got your radar and you got like, okay, maybe shit is gonna happen here. You will have an advantage. You will have an advantage by using the environment around you to your advantage, right? We all have these warning signs, and we all have these instinctive feelings. It's called intuition, our gut feelings. Guess what? We have been equipped with those innate power within us since the day we were born. We already have that in us. We already have that. We don't usually use it in such probably less safe, okay, it's okay, situation kind of thing. Balance your ability to sense potential danger or threat, but don't live in a fear. I'm not setting paranoia here at all. That doesn't mean that risk is not realistic. Sure, we all have these warning signals, right? We all have this, oh, maybe it's not right. Maybe it's not, we follow this, right? The gut feeling, the intuitive sense of feelings that we already have. We often do not simply utilize this, okay, not so sure situation. Such as I'm talking about, there's a lot of examples that I myself have experienced that, right? And I'm going to share you a couple of them really quickly, but such as for like getting inside the elevator, right? And you're here. Hi, Kim, how are you? Alyssa and Kim, my ladies, both of my favorite ladies of the clubhouse, come on up and, come and join the party here in the Zoom. Everybody's here in the Zoom right now. If you want to get the link is already shared on the chat room on the clubhouse. So yeah, grab that link and then get in here with us so you can see some share slides here while waiting for David Gray to come in. He's going to join us shortly here. Hold on a minute. I don't know how to change. Sorry, guys. I don't know how to change the slides. I usually have Susan or Pallavi to change this for me. I'm not a tech savvy when it comes to PowerPoint on camera.
Should just be able to hit the arrow key.
Where is the arrow piece? Oh,
on your keyboard.
Okay. Okay. I think that's all right. Okay. I think that's good enough right now. Okay. Let me continue that. But there's going to be more, guys. And then just take notes if you wish, and that's okay. Yeah, I mean, all of this thing, not so sure situations, circumstances, and then you kind of put your radar away. Gotta have to follow the intuition. I think I cannot emphasize that more and more and more to us all in self-taught. And me too sometimes, right? Getting inside the elevator, let's say, and then you are with somebody usually, right? Just the two of you. And then you kind of think of what is this person going to do? I mean, the first thing that I can, what do you call this? Hey, Kim, that I can suggest to you, look at their hands, because that will indicate, whether or not that person will plan on doing something bad, not so good to you, right? Look at look at their hands. Always immediately look at their hands. Or walk into your car in that parking lot, right? That natural ability, which we already have, and it should be active daily, should be activated daily, or whenever you are at transitional space, which we'll talk about a little bit later. The balance of your ability to sense these potential dangers or threats, but not living in a fear of paranoia. That's not what we're talking about here. But developing an awareness is really a truly skill. It is an important self-defense skill. By using your body, I say, as a weapon system, it is what I call primordial weapon, a skill that you got to fit this every single day. That's why I call it SA365. I don't want it to be SA360. This is the days in a year. It's 365. It should be like an everyday kind of thing, and it should be a lifestyle thing. We know many of us in our everyday life may not experience this life-threatening situation, but kind of like may that be well, now these days, I mean, we don't know, but like home invasion, terror attack, active shooter. I think LP mentioned about the active shooter, way of using the wording is changing to, I wrote it down this today, it's called like active violence incident, AVI. This doesn't mean though, whatever that we're saying right now, the risks are not real. They are real. Here's my point. Through some of my own experiences, right, I can say that there are always going to be a pre-incident signals, indicators, warning signs before this horrible bad incidents happen, right? You must have that survival instinct, the survival mindset, which we all have to wear it every single day. It has to be grained to our ecosystem. I call it brain, mind, and muscle memory. We already have that, right? I already told you that. There are a lot of things actually that I want to share with you, and I cannot wait to bring on David Gray to be here. But there is in leadership, there is a saying, it's about anticipation to the needs of other in safety. It's about idiocy, like being an idiot, I guess, right? But again, guys, I am going to change a slide here. Hang on a minute. And it usually takes about 5 seconds to do this, since I am trying to get a hand of it. All right. Just a little bit backstory of this whole thing, of the overview of 30 minutes. I used to bring this out 2 decades ago. It's kind of different conversation back then, but the application, may be different, maybe evolving, but the mentality remained the same. Perhaps the way of the, of the criminals, how they, deploy their criminal act, right? Maybe different now, maybe more sophisticated. We gotta have to protect our safety, and then there's no other way. But if you look at the screen, this is exactly what I cover. I know it's kind of like a little bit lot. Oh, Dave Brown, how are you? A little bit lot. If you look at the can you guys see the screen right now? Situational awareness, safety, survival, preparedness screen, and it's got a little bit of white and blue, and then there is a huge like a phone, a cell phone in the middle of it. Can you guys see that? Oh, yes. Okay, good. Is that a yes to from everybody just now? Okay. All right. Okay. So I'm just going to leave it there for a while until you guys see what it's all about, this whole thing. Yeah. As you can see, there's back to basics, self-defense skills, controlled versus transitional space, color coded mental awareness. I know in 30 minutes, you cannot cover all of that. That's the reason why I have, like a 3-day, a 3-day group, what do you call this, session to training this, and then escalate forces, and also what is next after this, right? But yeah, I want to just pause a little bit here. I want to see, follow up with David Gray if he is already available to speak. Let me find him. Okay, give him a few more minutes. A couple more minutes, I think. I know this is 30 minutes. I said, are you here yet? We are all in Zoom. Okay. There is a poll, I believe. I don't know if you guys can see the poll here on Zoom, but there is a poll. See if I can activate the poll. How do you activate the poll? Right there is the poll. Launch it. Okay. Go ahead and take a moment to look at that, and then answer it while I am trying to ping him to come in. Okay, he's probably going to be a little bit late. Okay, so yeah, we're no longer living in a space that we are, in a world that we can simply hope that, nothing would happen. I mean, I talk a lot about this already in the last couple of days, in the last couple of days here in the clubhouse, and then solely rely on our first responders when something bad happens, right? With all due respect, with first responders, I mean, they got their hands full already, their plates, full already on the table and things like that. If you compare how many they are versus how many we are, I mean, go figure, right? You can't expect your neighbor. I mean, some are still willing to protect you, but more than ever, overly protect yourself, neighbors, right? I mean, I cannot sugarcoat some of the true facts right now in the world today, but that's just the world that we live in today, guys. I mean, I hate to say, hey, you know what? No one's going to be there for you. No one's going to save you. No one's going to like rescue you. You got to have to take care of yourself. You got to have to take care of your own, protect your own safety. Because safety, after all, who's really fully responsible for your safety? It's yourself, right? And then you already know that. Yeah, I know that we all have our neighborly responsibilities, to look out for one another, but majority are just not the way it used to be. I mean, that's just a true fact. I've lived here on this planet, in this shared space we call home, with over half a century already. And, I've seen everything already, but I'm sure I'm seeing more and more. I mean, as the world is in chaos right now, God knows what's going to be happening tomorrow as we're speaking like today. But really a moderate dose of just staying vigilant are really critical to the success of your safety. I mean, training and training and just practice and knowing all of this are really the bedrocks to your survival. Practice, repetition makes perfect. And we want to build that muscle memory to foster confidence when you are facing, those challenges in a split-second life-threatening decision. You want to make that split-second decision that you already have that ingrained in your brains. Like, this is muscle memory has already been there, right? You already ingrained that. You go, okay, this is what I need to do. Because believe me, I also spoke to first responders, right? And they've been is their long-term career, and I spoke with him. I pull him aside, firefighter, and it's like, hey, do you still have the butterfly in your stomach? And when you go out there and you hear the siren, and then you're out for a call for duty, and then he said, yeah, hell yeah, everybody's still getting like uncertainty, like don't know what we're up to, putting out fire, and are we going to come home tonight? We don't know. So the first thing we do is call our loved ones. We call our spouse and we call our wives and say, hey, we're going to be out there putting out fire, because we don't know what we don't know, right? What's going on out there. We depend on this things, what we call our what do you call this? Our training, our skills. But yeah, practicing good situational awareness is really your first line of defense in avoiding situation like this one. It is a very teachable and learning skill, and there's no one-size solution to this. I'm going to change the slide now, and you guys see that is very true. But understanding this, the caveat to this though, is that, like I said earlier as well, oh, David Gray's here. Yeah. Almost done anyway. I was going to cover a couple of, if you're not here, David Gray, welcome. I was going to cover some of my examples on the color-coded mental awareness with the audiences and everything, but I am so happy you're here. I'm going to finish this up really quickly here. But applying your situational awareness and just general staying prepared, like I said, it should be 365 days in a year activity. And that should be part of your daily life. And he's kind of like, yes, Nikki, that's true. Yeah. And it should be a lifestyle, you guys. It should be a lifestyle. And I've lived this way, not being paranoid. And I'm so passionate about this. I make it like a commitment to me to teach other people to staying safe. And it is part of my lifestyle. You don't need to be like I said earlier, you use your all of this body as a weapon system, your mindset and everything else. And I'm so happy that Our exclusive guest is here. I'm going to pause there and I'm going to dive into this SA overview. Everybody, good to be here. This is Nicky there once again. And I want to introduce you our exclusive guest speaker here who happened to be my good friend. And he's so loyal. You always, every time when I pick up the phone and speed dial, you go, hey, can you be here? I have something, I have something to say for the people that's in my community here. Can you help me out here? And then just kind of navigate and facilitate this kind of conversation with them. Special returning guest is always here to support me on any topic, especially this kind of topic. And, my heart is really close with him and I'm grateful for his continued support. We have done this. I don't know how many years have we done this, Dave? We've done a long, long time. A couple decades, maybe more, way back. I've known you since 1990, I want to say 8, 9, I don't know.
Yeah, probably 1999, 2000.
1999, yeah, something like that. And then you were single back then, I think. Now you're like, fast forward, you've got how many kids now?
3.
Yeah. 3. I want to say 4, but 3, yeah.
Yeah, 3.
And happily married. And I just want to, I really, really am grateful. And I'm sure all of my, the audiences who are listening right now are very grateful to have you here on the stage. And then just wanting to say hello, good morning. And then tell us about what you know. And then just, anything that's relevant here to situational awareness. Because I know you have a lot of stuff going on that had happened to you when you're in combat. Afghanistan and also Iraq, and then you're doing yourself too. You have a career teaching people how to stay safe and security. You own a security company as well. So welcome. Thank you so much.
All right, thanks for having me. So when I think of situational awareness, I don't just think about my immediate surrounding. Your situational awareness is also your mental awareness. It's not just you using your eyes to look around, your ears to hear. It's being aware of what condition that you are in mentally as well as physically. So if you do things that impair your ability to have real situational awareness, you're not aware of yourself, and it makes it very hard for you to be aware of your situation. So for example, for a number of years here in Bangkok, my company, we did nightclub security. So we provided the bouncers for several nightclubs, and as well as massive events, EDM concerts, and live concerts with dance shows and all this kind of things. And I can tell you, as soon as someone starts to take in alcohol, their situational awareness goes down really, really quickly. And they've put themselves in, you put yourself in a situation. If you're in a nightclub, you're putting yourself in a situation where your situational awareness is going to go down really quickly, because one, more than likely you're consuming alcohol, and your cognitive abilities are going to slow down and be impaired. And 2, the music's going to be loud, so you can't hear. 3, there's going to be a lot of people in close proximity to you, so you're not going to be able to be aware of what's going on. Like who's being a threat to you and who's not. You're not going to be able to watch everybody at once. And 4, you're in a group of people that may have ulterior motives. They may be wanting to do something to someone else. So you're kind of put yourself in a situation where you can't be situationally aware. So if you go into this, if you go out into the world, you say, what condition am I in today? What's my mental awareness capabilities today? So for me, little things. If I go and I take, let's say I'm taking some sort of sinus medication or cold medication that makes me drowsy or makes me feel like I'm thinking slow, it's going to affect awareness. Okay. So this is being aware of your situation inside your body first before you can be aware of the situation outside of your body. So if you know, okay, today I'm not very situationally aware because I'm dealing with a lot of stress in my life. My brain is thinking about other things. I can't focus on the here and now. or I'm taking some sort of medication because I've got a head cold, or hey, I've had a couple of drinks, it's a late night. Now you have to be aware of these things and say, am I putting myself in a situation where, in a position where I cannot be situationally aware? And am I putting myself in an environment where it could be dangerous to me to be in that kind of setup? So, don't just be aware of your environment around you, or don't just say, "Oh, I'm situationally aware because I'm not on my phone, or because I'm looking around and I have an idea what's going on." That's not exactly what it means. You have to be aware of your situation internally, mentally, physically, and in some cases spiritually, to be aware of what's going on around you. I've got 3 kids. My kids kill my situational awareness at distance, like you wouldn't believe, because I have a 2.5-year-old, a 5-year-old, and an 8-year-old.
Jackie?
And yeah, guaranteed at some point in the, like, every second somebody's going, "Daddy, daddy, 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 do this. I need that.
I can
Help."
hear them too in the background.
Yeah. Only Jackie's here right now, so oh no,
Where is
Jackie.
he? Say
Jackie.
hello to
No,
everybody.
they're downstairs.
Okay.
Jackie and Shayla are here. The 2 youngest.
I remember when he was like about this big, and I was,
Yeah.
I was like, "Come to see you."
So they kill my situational awareness. I mean, I can be focused on them and their situations, but I can't. It makes it very hard for me to expand out onto different things. And you start realizing that because your kids are constantly distracting you, it makes it very easy for threats to come in closer to you. Okay, so because of that, I tried, unfairly to my wife, I try to force my wife to focus more on the kids when we're in a public place, and I try to focus on the things at distance. So, be aware out in public. That's a big deal, and realize that it's happening, and say, okay, hey, look, right now, this going on, a specific thing. There goes my wife to get my daughter, and try to become more situationally aware, and don't put yourself in a situation where you have so many things going on that you're putting yourself at risk. I many times when my family is out somewhere, I will tell my wife, let's go move away from doorways, get deeper into the room, where we can keep the kids away from the doorways. Why do I do that? Because I'm aware that I've got 3 kids, and if I'm looking at 2 of them, there's one I'm not looking at, and if there's a doorway there, there's a potential that somebody can grab them and go, right? So I always tell the wife, hey, move away from the doorways. Like, we go, one of our favorite restaurants, fast food chains to eat at here is Texas Chicken. And most fast food restaurants, you walk in.
The little one is there.
Yeah. Go to mommy. Go to mommy.
David,
No.
quick question.
Yes.
David, quick question. I know that I have a lot, I'm surrounded by Marine friends, right? And whenever we go out to restaurants, after training out in the range, Scott Horner always said, I don't want to, he's so paranoid. He doesn't want to sit in a restaurant by the doors. Can you tell us why? All Marines are the same way. They all have the same mentality. It's like, I'm not sitting down there, even though they're attacked. Even though they'll carry guns and stuff like that. But why?
Yeah.
Tell us.
Because that's where your trouble's going to come from, is your transitional spaces. Go to mommy. Go to mommy.
Can I say hi to Shayla before she goes? I'm like, how do they work this thing? I just saw her.
Okay.
I'm like, where are you? Where are you? I'm like,
Hi,
I
Rain.
can't get the mic working. Where are you? Okay. I see you. How do I turn this on? Okay, don't know how to turn this on. Hey, Shayla. Hey, Shayla. I don't know how to turn this on yet, but yeah, if you remember Uncle Rain, miss you. Hold on.
Okay.
Oh well. Hello, Shayla. Miss you. Okay, right. Sorry. Yeah, go back. Go back to teaching. Go back to working. I just couldn't help it.
Okay, go to mommy. Go. You got to shower and change diaper, baby. Go.
So you
go.
mentioned about
Grab
also when you're replying to this, also tell us what transitional space is, because I haven't
Okay.
covered that yet. So you can go ahead and cover that.
All right. So transitional spaces are anywhere that's kind of usually in the public domain that's where people will travel through routinely. So gas stations, ATM machines, convenience stores, these kind of things are all transitional spaces where people, any person can travel through easily. Your and where you're moving from point A to point B. So if you're moving from your car to your house and you have an open yard that's not fenced in, that's a transitional space. Anybody can pass through there at any time. If you're moving from your car to the grocery store, where's the transitional space? The whole thing, from the car and the grocery store, are both transitional spaces because anybody can transit through them. Okay, so these are places where you can be vulnerable. Most crimes actually will happen in a place where you're fairly comfortable, but usually it's moving between point A and point B, like the bus stop and your house, or your bus stop and your office, or your car and your house. It's usually in these kind of places that you get hit, and this is where, doing close protection, this is where we're at our highest awareness level, is because this is where the threat is the highest for the client. When we're moving a client from vehicles to an office for a meeting, that's the most dangerous space. And so we do little things that are a little bit rude. Like we put a formation around the VIP, we walk them through the lobby, we gently convince people to move out of the way by gently pushing them out of the way or redirecting them.
Yeah.
And then we don't let anybody else in the elevator with us if we get into an elevator or a stairwell. And so that because we know that's a dangerous spot. You get in an elevator with somebody, that's a very enclosed transitional space. Anybody can come in, and they're moving from one place to another as they're in there. Women will tell you sexual assaults happen in elevators. More to women than men. They do happen to men too. But anyway, so transitional spaces are anywhere where you are moving from point A to point B, and other people can intersect and travel through that space. So that's transitional spaces.
Control versus transitional space. I put the slide up there already for you all to see. God bless you, whoever that is.
How do I turn this off? Oh.
There's a mute button down there.
That's okay. Okay, but do you see that, David? The slide that I put up. Yeah, control.
This is a pretty good example of a very crowded transitional space. Okay, I hate crowds. And to answer your question, why do Marines not like to sit facing with their back to the door or windows? Because we want to be able to look and see where the trouble is coming from. And in most restaurants and fast food places and things like that, you have to come through the door, meet someone, right? So either the cashier, the person taking an order from you, or in a nicer restaurant, you have to see the maitre d', right? The guest relations person that's there to seat everyone or whatever. And if you're watching them and you can see them, even in your peripheral vision, you'll be able to pick up on anything that's unusual, that doesn't match the baseline. So one of the things that we should talk about really is your baseline. Everywhere that you go, there's a baseline for what's normal in that environment. Meaning, in your neighborhood, you're going to know what cars travel, the most often, what people walk their dogs, what looks normal, what seems normal in your area, because you live there, you're used to it, right? What sounds are normal, when the streets are the busiest and when they're not, you're going to know. So once you have your baseline established for wherever you're at, anything that piques your interest or is out of the normal, takes you off of that baseline, should gain your attention. So if you go into a restaurant and you sit down and you've been there 5 minutes and it's been calm, it's been quiet, you see people coming and going and eating and laughing and having a good time, and then all of a sudden somebody walks through the front door and they start talking very loudly and they seem to be aggressive and there's a lot of motion. That's something that's gone off of baseline. So you have a peak, and those things should draw your attention, and they should change your color code of mental awareness, right? So we have green, yellow, and red, and white and black.
We haven't covered that yet, but
Right.
we can certainly do that. But David, there's a question. I was just getting a DM. What is, so you answer that. So why is it important to also check the kitchen when you go into the restaurant? Great question.
Yeah, sure. Just look over, like for bodyguards, normally we don't like check the kitchen unless we're taking a VIP through the kitchen of a big hotel or something like that. But like if you're ordering food in a fast food restaurant, you can normally see into the kitchen, right? You can see what's going on, and you can pick up on any kind of vibe that's unusual there. But yeah, normally we don't per se check the kitchen unless we're bringing a client through there. Then we would check it first and make sure it's okay. But if you're going somewhere, and just watch for anything that's unusual. Okay, so scenario 1, you have ATM here in the dark. ATM is an accessory to mugging. The ATM machine itself is an accessory to mugging, and so it's not automatic teller machine. It's accessory to mugging, because they force you to look at the screen. Your head is down, and usually you're either in an small enclosed space that blinds you to either side. They do have a little tiny mirror, but it's up here where you can't see. So if they really wanted to make an ATM safe for you, they would have the computer screen, and in the corner of the computer screen, they would have a screen with the CCTV camera looking back over your shoulder, so you can see the two things at the same time. But ATMs, I almost got robbed at an ATM. And I can tell you this story.
Yeah, tell us a story.
Yeah. All right, so I was in the Marines. I had been in maybe 2 or 3 years at this point, and I had been at a pool party with some friends of mine, and we wanted to go pick up some pizzas from Little Caesars in Oceanside, California. Mm-hmm. And so I just didn't want to get in my car with wet shorts, so I just quickly took off my swim shorts and put on some jeans, threw my car keys in my pocket, and me and my couple buddies went and got in the car, and we're driving up to Little Caesars, which is just like 4 or 5 blocks away, right on Oceanside Boulevard, Coast Highway, Oceanside Boulevard intersection. And pull into this little shopping center, and I guess it's about 8:30 or 9 o'clock at night. It's right before they're going to close. And my friends go in to go pick up the pizza. They're paying for everything. I'm not. I want to go to the ATM and just check and see how much money I have in my account. Well, the ATM is this little booth that's semi-enclosed but not 100% enclosed. So the ATM machines, there's 2 ATM machines next to each other, and they're enclosed in a little brick house that's got an awning and a front window, and then the side doors are open. There's no doors on the side, so it's completely open on the sides. And this, the awning serves to stop rain and wind, but there's no security things anyway. No doors on the side that you have to get in, so no way to lock doors or anything like that. But so as I'm walking to the ATM machine across the parking lot, I look over, and at Porta Subs, there's these 2 dudes sitting there, and they're 2 essays. They're
Good size.
MS-13 looking dudes. Yeah, they're shaved heads, flannel on, top button, white shirt, khaki shorts, socks up to their knees, tattoos everywhere, sitting there, and they're looking at me. Now, Portisubs is closed. It closed like 30 minutes before. And I'm thinking to myself, why are these two dudes there? You know? And, but as I wasn't pulling out any money, and the only thing I had on me was my ATM card, I didn't really see it as such a big deal. And they were still like 30, 40 meters from the ATM machine. Or yards, sorry, yards. They're still quite far from the ATM machine, so they would have had to cover a lot of distance. So I went in to the ATM machine and I'm checking my balance. Now my back is facing Coast Highway, which is like the main boulevard that goes through Oceanside, California. And so I'm doing this, checking the ATM machine, and as I go to leave out one side of the, let's say this is the little booth. Right, so here's the ATM machine is smack dab in the middle. I go out one side. There's a minivan parked here, okay, that was there when I came in, so nothing to alert me too much. But I'm looking, as I look out, I see the reflection of one of these guys that was just sitting over by Portisubs, leaning up against the wall with something in his hand, and I just see this motion in the mirror. In the window on the side of the van, and I just get my hand up just fast enough, and I block whatever he was swinging at me. Just a reflex, and boom, block it. And what it was he had taken off his hoodie and wrapped up a brick that Portisubs, a masonry brick, a solid brick, not like a center block, a solid brick that Portisubs used to hold the door open in the daytime. He had found that on the ground, wrapped it up in his sweater, and he was swinging it at me to try and hit me in the head to knock me out and steal whatever money I had, right, that he thought I just took out of the ATM. So I block this way, and the shirt comes over the side. I wrap it up and pull him. He's got it wrapped around his hand. So I pull him back into the ATM cubicle area. His other buddy comes up behind me and tries to grab me from the back. So I take this from this guy, end up grabbing him by the arm and switching hands and hitting him a couple of times in the head with his own brick. Okay, there's a large trash can there, one of these concrete-based, cylindrical-based trash cans with the metal top that funnels everything in. Anyway, I put him down on that, hit him in the body and head a couple times with the brick, and his buddy is latched onto my back and my neck, and he grabs this arm in motion, stops, and pulls me back this way, and I end up grabbing him by the throat, and grabbing him by the trachea, just the trachea, and squeezing as hard as I can, and he's freaking out because I just shut off all of his airway, and he starts clawing up my arm. This guy had what they call the heroin fingernail, or the booger hook, the long fingernail, and he's put a long scratch down my arm. And meanwhile, his buddy, who apparently was the shot caller of the group, was the boss of the group, is unconscious, falls to the ground. And just as I'm holding this guy's trachea, a police car, an unmarked police cruiser, comes bouncing over the sidewalk, over the shrubs, hits all the lights, and puts the spotlights on us. The guy gets out of the car and says, let him go, let him go. He's pointing a gun at me. So I let him go. Yeah, and the guy takes off, right? As soon as I let this guy go, he takes off running as fast as he can go. And so the police officer, later I found out I knew this guy, right? In a couple minutes, I realized I knew this guy, but because of the lights, I couldn't see him. He's like, hands behind your head, interlace your fingers, down on your knees, cross your legs, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
He came over to me, and I'm trying to just explain to him, hey, these guys are robbing me at the ATM. They're robbing me at the ATM, blah, blah, blah. And then he saw the other guy bolt. And so he's calling for backup, and he's trying to get somebody else to come in. And he comes over to me and sees that I'm obviously the victim, and he decides not to handcuff me at that time. And he kind of assesses the situation. And then we find the other guy, the other guy had run and jumped in a city bus, went in through the back door of a city bus and sat down and he had a crushed trachea, so he's vomiting up blood in the bus. So the bus driver drove a little bit and did probably the smartest thing I've ever seen a bus driver do. He just told everybody, get off the bus.
He's gonna have a joyride with them.
Door and locked the. He just told everybody to get off the bus. The bus driver got out and then locked the door,
Oh, I see.
locking the guy in the bus.
Right.
So then the backup arrived. The other police officers arrived, and they said, hey, we're going to detain you until we figure out what's going on. And so they handcuffed me, put me in the back of the police car, took me to the police station, and took my report. And this other guy that was unconscious went to the hospital. He had a broken jaw, fractured eye socket. He had to have his jaw wired shut. He was in a coma for a couple of days. And the guy that they caught in the bus also couldn't talk because he had to have an airway, had to have a tube put down his throat to keep his airway open. And he was in the hospital for several days as well. So during that whole time, the police are like, well, if the one guy dies from the head trauma, you may be facing some homicide charges, And I'm like, really? And so they ended up getting the CCTV footage from the ATM machine, which didn't show much because it only shows right where the ATM is. And they had one camera that was supposed to be up and looking down inside the ATM booth. It didn't work. They got video camera from Portasubs and the surrounding shops, and then the one that really showed what was going on was from Dunkin' Donuts all the way across the street. That showed the ambush. Both of these guys trying to ambush me. So no matter which direction I had gone out of the little ATM booth, I would have been attacked. Right?
Yeah.
So they had both sides covered. And so anyway, they obviously didn't charge me with anything, and they charged both of these guys, and then they ran the DNA and fingerprints on these guys and found out they were wanted for 11 armed robberies of a lot of like Alberto's Tacos, little small Mexican fast food places. They had been robbing them because they could go in and scream at them in Spanish and they knew what they were saying. Mm-hmm. Right? And these guys were illegal aliens that had crossed the border illegally from Mexico and were doing armed robbery by knife. And they had committed a homicide. They had killed someone at one of these robberies. So the police were like, okay, good job on you. You helped us out and you didn't get killed in the process. But it was my situational awareness at the time wasn't where it should have been, right? I was thinking about, I was at that time I'm thinking about, hey, I'm barefoot. I'm still damp and cold. I'm checking my ATM, get back to my friends, get back to the party, get back to the girls.
You were straying away from those buddies of yours. That's what happens.
Yeah, and I separated from the group, right? Which in every horror movie is the worst thing you could ever do, is separate from the group. And I did it. And so I look at my mistakes and I see what it cost me, right? If I had just taken one friend with me to the ATM, no problem.
Okay, let me ask you this. If there was a scenario where you were, they were after your jewelry, they were after, let's just say that you have some money in your hand. What are the action? What are the steps that you would take instead? Let's change the scenario.
Well, first of all, no money or valuables are worth your life. But a lot of people will try to hang on to what they have, and I understand that. I don't like being robbed. Nobody likes being robbed, and you definitely don't want these guys to get away. But if you're not physically, mentally, and spiritually prepared to go fight for your life for whatever they're trying to take from you, give it up.
Give it up. Yep.
Just give it up. So Recently, I broke my elbow. Last month, I fractured my elbow.
Yeah, I
I was
saw that. You
doing
told me
stunts.
that.
I just got the cast off 2 weeks ago, so I'm really weak. But so that whole time, I have a cast and I have my arm in a sling. And even though I'm a big guy, I'm a one-armed man. So, and I'm 47 years old now, and I'm not in the best physical shape like I used to be. I used to be in fantastic shape. So I carry concealed because of my work as a bodyguard, and I carry every day everywhere I go. So what I realized really quickly was having a broken arm made me a much more deadly person in an attack. And people will say, "What? Wait, you have only one arm. Why are you more deadly?" Well, if somebody tries to attack me, I have one arm and I have a gun. So if they get the gun away from me, more likely it's going to get used against me, right? So for me, now I don't have the options. I don't have the options of, hey, let's go to hands and settle this like men, right? I can't pull out a knife and fight knife one-handed so easily. If I pull out pepper spray's in one hand. I don't have another hand to defend myself if you come after me. And I was out of pepper spray. So my pepper spray bottle got ruptured on another fall. So I didn't have pepper spray. So my options were run, which is always the best option, run, or shoot, because I can't fight you. So if I see a bad guy come up to me with a weapon and any kind of deadly intent, I'm going to go, I can't run. I got an injured neck, injured back, injured shoulder, injured elbow, and an injured leg, all on the right side of my body. So I can't run. So if you come up to me and you're threatening my life, I'm going to shoot you right away.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to try to fight. I can't run. So,
but would you give a warning though, a pre-warning, like, I've got a gun, step back,
No.
They won't. Would you give a warning first, a pre-warning?
No. In a deadly encounter, as a civilian, you're not a cop. Cops are legally required to give a warning, right? Mm-hmm. And as a civilian, you are not legally required to give any kind of warning. And you don't have time. Mm-hmm. Weapons are meant to be felt, not seen. Okay? Any weapon is meant to be felt, not seen. This means gun or knife. Don't brandish and say, I'm going to shoot you.
Exactly. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that.
Please
just
don't.
Bring it out. If they see it coming out, more than likely they're going to beat feet and fly. They're going to be gone so fast that you'll be like, wait a minute, did that just happen? They run faster than Usain Bolt. So,
David, hold on a minute. Can I interject? Can you explain a little bit? Some of us probably don't understand what brandishing. Can you explain a little bit on brandishing? Can you give examples of that?
Okay, so brandishing is any time that you show a weapon for the purpose of intimidation.
Right.
Okay.
I hope everybody's listening to that.
For the purpose of intimidation. So I'll tell you a story about a guy brandishing.
Do well. It's not a happy ending.
It went really, really badly for them.
Right.
So before I went into the Marines, I was working armed security in Texas, and I worked for a company that worked in a very high crime environment. We worked in all the federal housing projects. So we had to enforce a curfew, a 10 p.m. curfew for this federal housing project that everybody was in, because they had such a high homicide rate and they had so much drugs, so much prostitution going on after 10 p.m. So the governor of Texas, who was Ann Richards at the time, said, enforce a curfew. Everybody's indoors after 10 p.m. They can go from their car to their house, but they can't hang out outside on federal property. So we're in the first 2 weeks of enforcing this curfew, and I walk up to a guy that we know is a drug dealer. We know he's a gangbanger. We know he's a Crip. We know it. And I walk up to him like, hey, it's 10 p.m. You got to go inside. He decides to brandish, right? So he's standing across the hood of his car from me, and he goes, yo, homie, I ain't going nowhere. You and your 10 badge can go F yourself, right? So he shows me his gun. So my immediate response was, okay, get on the ground. right?
Right.
I'm security. I'm legally required now as security to warn him, right?
Mm-hmm.
To issue verbal commands. So I pull the gun. He pulls his gun, same time. And we end up having a shootout across the hood of his car. He drops down on the ground and behind the car. I drop down on the ground between the curb and the car. I'm literally laying on my side in the gutter. And I see his toe sticking out from the other side of the tire. I shoot his toe off. And then he surrendered real quick. Shot him in the toe, and he's, okay, I quit. He threw the gun down and he quit. And then ran up and arrested him. And
So the message to that, moral to the story, is that don't ever brandish your.
don't brandish. It gives the opposition. It does a lot of things.
Yeah.
It puts you in legal jeopardy. Okay.
That's
Because
first.
now they can say, I didn't do anything. This dude came up to me threatening me, and he's got a gun. And he showed me his gun. What kind of gun was it? Silver gun with a white handle, pearl handle, or if they can describe it and the cops find it, it's obvious you were brandishing. So you can't brandish. Don't ever brandish for the threat of intimidation, right?
Concealed weapon
the
permit 101.
Yeah. Don't. Hey, buddy.
Hi.
Say hi.
Hey, hi. There's
So,
Jackie. Is he in school?
yeah, Jackie. I know school.
there
They're on.
he is. Oh,
They're
wow.
on spring break.
Hi.
They're on spring break. They're all saying hi to you. You want to say hi back?
Hi.
Say
How are you?
hi.
Oh, he's shy. Look at it.
Yeah.
Hi. I remember
All
you
right.
when you were like about this big.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
big.
Yeah,
There
she
you are.
was your little baby.
You always in your daddy's lap, or your daddy always go like this whenever we do this kind of thing, webinars and
Yeah.
workshops.
Yeah.
It's just so
Go
you guys
downstairs.
know. If you guys just joining us right now, I've known David Gray since what year? I think he said 1997 or 1999 rather.
1999, yeah,
Come a long
1999, 2000.
Yeah.
That's when I started teaching at Frontside. Was
Exactly. I met him
in the
there, and then
90s.
we've been in long gun training together, and then he's one of my favorite teens.
Okay.
In
Go
fact,
downstairs.
I know so many people there at the range at the school, and I've been going
Yeah.
out.
Hold on. I missed it. I was doing dishes. Is Jackie still there? How do I turn on the screen? I can't see the screen anymore. Just
He went down. He went
Oh,
downstairs.
he went down. Okay, take care. Sorry to interrupt.
It's okay.
I'm like, oh, I missed it. Okay, sorry to interrupt. Go back.
All
Okay,
right.
so
So yeah, good to see you. Good to be here with David Gray. He's all the way in Thailand. Owns his own security company, and then he's doing some incredible stuff, guys. Stuntman, and you've done some Hollywood stuff here when you were in US. CSI Vegas. What else did you do? I don't know. A lot of stuff.
NCI, the show
Oh, that's
NCIS.
it. Yeah,
and-
NCIS.
Yeah.
San Diego.
And then
What else did you do?
crime scene investigators, Las Vegas. I did that. I was on that for a while. We did all the firearms training for them, and I did some consulting for them on set for, I don't know, almost 5 years.
5 years,
off and
6
on.
years, and then you're still doing the training also at the front side school.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I've seen you there quite often.
Yeah.
In Vegas.
And that's how I got. That's part of the way I got front sight. So we had all of the lead actors come out and do firearms training at front sight, and it was because I had done NCIS San Diego, and the stunt coordinator for that called me up. His name was Diamond. Diamond called me up and said, "Hey, where are you at? You want to work on this show in Vegas?" I said, "I'm about 45 minutes outside of Vegas working at front sight." And they're like, "Oh, okay. Well, we want to train all the main cast on how to use guns." And I'm like, "Okay, bring them out." I introduced him to Brad Ackman, and they set the whole thing up.
Were you involved also in the Mark Wahlberg? I know Patrick did. Patrick, what's his last name? Patrick Garrison? Patrick Garrity. I'm sorry, Patrick Garrity.
Yeah, Garrity. No,
but were you involved in that movie also? The sniper?
The sniper film, no.
Shooter. The shooter with Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, I know what you mean. No, I wasn't involved in that one. No.
That was a great movie. They were all filming, training Mark Wahlberg on the site too.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do a fair amount of that. I also do armory work on set here in Thailand. which I'm the only foreigner doing armory work in Thailand that lives in Thailand. Most of the times they'll bring the guns from the U.S. or from Australia to here, and from South Africa to here, and then they'll bring in some foreigners with that, and then they have the local Thai crew. But I'm the only foreigner doing it in Thailand.
Well, the
and
demand is
living-
still high though, David. I mean, as far as security and as far as like training and all of that. I mean, I'm sure
Yeah.
that China, you mentioned about that, the Chinese would come down there and then pay anything there, like blank check
Yeah,
or
they-
something, right?
well, it's weird how Chinese are about money, but yeah, they pay quite a lot for shooting classes and things like that. But I wouldn't call it a blank check. They always want to negotiate. They always want to haggle. But
Oh, either negotiate.
Anyway.
first, yeah. Okay, let's get back to the program now. So you were
Yeah,
saying
so-
about what were you saying
yeah,
about?
don't brandish. You definitely can't brandish, but be aware that, okay, back to situational awareness. Okay, everybody says, oh, the police profile people. Yes, they do. Well, why do they do it? Because it works. Become a professional profiler in your situational awareness. When you walk into a place, you start looking at people. People dress certain ways for certain reasons. Everybody has a uniform. Okay, if you walk into Burger King, you see the lady behind the counter. She works at Burger King. She's in a Burger King uniform. You see the guy who works at the gas station next door eating lunch there. He's in his gas station uniform. You see the gangbanger that's hanging out in there. He's wearing his gangbanging uniform. Okay, everybody has a uniform. And you see the soccer mom. Most soccer moms have the soccer mom uniform. They dress a specific way because that's their cultural identity. Their social identity. I hate to use the word cultural identity, but their social identity in their social circles. And when you walk into a room, start trying to read the room. Start trying to figure out who's into what, and read the facial expressions. Read the tattoos, the body language, the positioning, right? If I walk into a place and I want to sit down, I like to sit in a corner table, facing the front door, facing the windows, facing the vast majority of the room, near an emergency exit. That's my preferred thing, okay? If I walk in a room and there's somebody sitting there, the first thing I think is, why is he sitting there? All right, or she's sitting there. If it's a family of 5, okay, no big deal. But if it's a single guy sitting there with a hoodie on, looks like hasn't shaved in a week, and he's itchy, twitchy, and wiggling around, or he's just watching
Right.
everybody like a hawk, my little spidey senses start to tingle, and I'll find a position where I can keep an eye on that guy and the front door a little better.
David,
Yeah.
while you're thinking about that,
as soon as you walk in, yes.
can I interject you a little bit? I launched a poll survey for everybody here while you were getting ready to come in this room. I asked them, what does SA mean to you? Okay, and I give them 3 answers: aware of what I say and do, getting ready to go outside, finding nearest exit. All of them failed.
Well, it should be all of them. It should be a check all answers, really.
Yeah, it
But-
could be, but then they all, yeah. You know which one is the highest?
What?
71% of them said aware of what I say and do. 14% said getting ready to go outside.
Yeah.
14% said finding the nearest exit.
Yeah. So, just
Guys, but it
Yeah.
could be all of them, right?
yeah, it should be all of them. When you're in an environment, be aware of what you say and do. And when you're getting ready to go outside into an environment, you gotta prep yourself to what am I doing for the day? What condition am I running in? Right. So for me, I have my everyday carry, and it doesn't change very much. But every once in a while, I will change some items based on where I'm going. So, handgun, loaded handgun,
Knife.
round in the chamber, extra magazine, minimum of one. Okay, and I cut that down when I'm in Thailand. So when I'm in the States, it's 4 mags. You know,
Okay,
I'm
good.
running with 5 mags on me, and people are like,
Oh,
"What? Why?"
fully loaded. All of them. I'll just tap
Yeah,
it. Max.
especially around Vegas.
Oh, very true.
Yeah, some parts of Vegas, you got to be really careful.
Oh,
But anyway, and then knife, pepper spray, flashlight, and some type of small multi-tool, which for me, I have a little thing on my keychain that fits most nuts, bolts, and screws,
yeah.
and things like that. And anyway,
Are you?
yes,
She's trying to get your attention.
always,
Always,
always.
right?
She's daddy's girl. Hold on, I got to get her
Yeah, that's
bear to
okay.
drop the bear.
But guys, if you are if you are enjoying this, you know, I am still on the clubhouse, so just invite some people to come in, and then also let them know anybody who's listening right now in the clubhouse, there is a link to get in Zoom. The chat room has that link, so go ahead and click on that link, and then be able to get into the Zoom room with all of us here. Go right ahead, David. Are you here?
Okay, so yeah, so people will ask me, they're like, they'll say, "Why do you carry a knife?" Well, what? You never know when you're going to need it. A knife in itself is a multi-tool. You know, you can use it to open letters and boxes. You can also use it to cut restraints if somebody's tied you up with something. You can also use it for cutting seat belts in a car if you have a car accident. Okay, and that's a pretty big one. I've actually used mine probably 3 or 4 times exactly for that, for cutting seat belts to get people out of cars that had rolled over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's going down. Hold on, let me tell my wife
Who
Shayla's
has
awake.
concealed carry permit here, who's listening right now? I mean, you don't have to tell me that, but you know, I always good to know that people are really like prepared, weapon wise. I mean, I'm talking, you know, but it's always good. I mean, you know, if you go to the state, you know, that allows that. I mean, unfortunately, the state where I live, does not allow that. You know, but I don't know if you know, David, I don't want to get into the legality of this in this discussion, but I don't know if you know, but here in LA County, they are getting flexible just in the last couple of years of issuing that permit concealed carry, especially the ones that have had concealed carry in other states like myself.
Yeah, well, I knew several people in California that had concealed carry permits, but they were all extremely wealthy, and usually celebrities, or they worked in the close protection industry, and they protected the extremely wealthy, and they had to have those kind of people sign off and, you know, write a letter to the local sheriff to get their
It's getting
permit.
easier now, though, especially when you do have a background of teaching, instructors, and permits, licenses, and all that. That you are in the firearms community already, so they see that with your background,
Yeah.
especially DOJ, then they issue you right away. Anyway, she's like roaming around behind you.
my wife.
Do you guys have any questions? I mean,
I've been away for a couple of days.
Is that right? That's why he's like,
Please
I
ask
want to be with
questions.
Daddy. Look at her; she's so cute as one. Yeah. If anybody has a question, a quick question, nothing heavy, go right ahead and put it in the chat box, and I can kind of like, you know, read it to David, or that'd be great.
Is this on? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. Why do I use the chat box when I can use the when I can use voice?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Ooh, what is my question? Okay, I carry a very small knife because, okay, because it's more of a tool. Yeah, it's more of a tool. It's one of those knives that you might be able to get away with on a plane, like a really, really small. It's not a Swiss Army knife, but it's a really small knife that I use as a tool, and that's also like a just in case because my initial worry was it's not it doesn't look like like an Arnold Schwarzenegger or a John Rambo knife. It
Not
doesn't
Doesn't
look
look.
like that.
It doesn't look
Does
like
that
a weapon. It looks like a
intimidating,
tool.
right?
Yeah, does that help, or is that the bad idea?
No, that's fine. That's fine. My wife carries a little tiny Swiss Army knife, um, but the point is that to have a tool to allow you to do some things. If you carry a larger size knife that could be used for self-defense, that's also okay. I know people who carry both. They'll carry a small little daily use knife that they use for cleaning under their fingernails, cutting open envelopes, that kind of thing. And then they have a backup. They have a larger knife for defensive purposes. So that's fine. As long as you have something. And my grandfather used to say every man should carry a knife, a pocket knife or a knife. And I actually think every person should carry a knife.
Yeah.
Just as a tool to have, not necessarily to try and scare people or intimidate people. I never tell people I'm carrying a knife. I never.
Well, that's a whole thing. I mean, you gotta have
Yeah.
to do that. It's concealed. I mean,
Yeah.
element of surprise, right? The element of surprise.
And I can't tell you how many hundreds of times I've been at places and people are like, "Man, I wish I had. How can I cut this?" And I'm just like, "Here we go."
Oh yeah, you
done.
Marines do
They're
that.
like,
Scott Horner does that all the time at the range. Like, you cut it with your Marine
Yeah.
knife. Big
Yeah, and they're like, why do you carry a knife? I'm like, why don't you? You're
Why don't
sitting
you?
here wanting to cut something
Exactly.
and you
That's
can't.
the thing I get. So, like, if you carry a big knife, people are like, what do you do for work? Like, why do you carry especially in Thailand, the culture is like, if you carry anything that looks like a weapon, they're like, oh my god, this guy's scary. Well, like,
Yeah.
Which state do
So
you live in? If I can
he
ask.
lives in Thailand. He's
Oh,
one
okay.
of my students here.
Okay. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
so
you gotta have to follow the state law, by the way, guys, because there's a lot of funny.
Yeah.
In California, there's a lot of funny laws. You gotta have to have certain. I don't know what now because it's changing all the time.
yeah, most places now say it has to be the blade has to be shorter than the width of your hand.
That's it, right?
So the palm of your hand.
Mhm.
So and that's the rule for Thailand as well, and that equals about 3 inches. I don't know
Right.
exactly in centimeters, but maybe about 5 or 6 centimeters, something like that.
No longer than 6, I think. I think go to 5 or 6, something like that now.
Yeah, so
some stupid thing.
as long as if you buy it and you put it on the palm of your hand and the tip doesn't protrude from the other side of your hand, you're usually okay. And the reason for that is because that's typically the depth you need to have. Deeper than that, anything past 3 inches, it can go into internal organs and cause internal organ failure. So that's why they say they don't want you to carry anything longer than 3 inches, because they don't want you to be able to stab someone and penetrate into their internal organs and cause failure. That's the legal concern. So anyway, let's go back to that slide where you had the ATM machine
Yes.
and all of that kind of
Yes.
stuff. I
Okay.
want to see that again.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and talk about the they have the park, they have the concert, public concert. Let me just find it for you. I do.
Yeah.
And right in the chat box, guys, if you are enjoying this conversation, this let us know. Okay, hold on, let me go back there. Oh, it's frozen. Really? Hold on a minute. Right as the chat box, your respond, your feedback, if you like this so far. Hang on, David.
Okay. Hi, Kim. Thank you for your message.
What did you say?
Hi, Elton. Rosalind, what's the best gun to carry?
Oh, Kim? That's probably Kim, huh?
Rosalind Hubbard.
Oh, Rosalind.
Okay. The best gun to carry is the one that you're best trained with.
Mhm.
Okay. If you don't have training with any gun or with the gun that you carry, it's a brick. It's actually more of a liability than it is an asset. So if you're going to carry, train, and train a lot, become proficient and confident with it. Yeah, learn the four universal firearm safety rules.
Can I add on to that, if I may chime in? Is the gun that is the gun that you can guarantee your hits, okay? The largest caliber, but you guarantee your hits in a tight group. What I mean by that would be like, okay, you can hit a tightest group in the largest caliber of 9mm. That would be your gun. If it's like my concealed carry would be 40, that would be my gun. That's my concealed carry caliber. And if you are like in 38 special, let's say, that would be your gun. So it all depends on you, what you capable of, shooting a tight group, that guarantee your hits, basically, not splatter everywhere, but guarantee the hits.
You need to be able to perform under pressure.
That too.
With that firearm. So on our shooting class, on our intermediate level handgun course, which Rain has not taken yet, we do a couple of scenarios where someone's trying to get the gun from you while you have it in your holster. Someone's trying to get the gun from you after you've taken it out of your holster. And then you're trying to keep your gun, right? So that scenario, if you will see people get adrenalized in that, because we're literally fighting over a gun. We use airsoft guns, or we use a laser gun. We don't use real guns for that. But the drill ends with we end up fighting for about a minute and a half until I blow the whistle, and then they can break off. And then what they have to do is go and take their actual firearm, and it's sitting off on a table or a barrel on the side, and then they have to load, make ready, and fire 2 good hits on a target. And I prefer to use a moving target if I can for that, because it's guaranteed that when you're in a fight, the target's going to be moving. Okay, how about gun? What is that? Alton?
What's the question?
He said, how about Run gun? I don't know what that is. I think he says typo. Okay, and Kim, I could not type earlier. I was traveling, but now I'm able to type. Okay. Sorry, transitional and not traditional. Autocorrect fail. Okay, I especially love the tips and reminders about transitional awareness in spaces. Okay.
Yeah, I'm working on that, Dave. On the slide. Hold on.
On the slide. Okay.
I know I'm not so savvy when it comes to presentation this online.
Right.
Go ahead.
So also about so you just need to I still don't know what that is. BYRNA gun. I'm going to have to look this up. Bring your own. Is that what that is? Let me Google that real quick. Hold on, because I don't understand what you're asking.
God, everybody's really, really interactive tonight. This is
Okay.
good. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm glad that you guys are still here hanging out with
Okay.
us. This is cool. Thank you. I really miss being out in the range, Dave.
Yeah.
I'll be there though in
Okay.
couple
Yes. This is the gas gun, right? Pepper ball gun.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No. I will use them for animals. I won't use them for people. Because a couple of reasons. One, you pull it out, yes, it looks like a gun. It also looks like a gun on video camera. And if you pull this out on let's say you step into a scenario where you don't know exactly what's going on, and it's an undercover police officer in plain clothes trying to make an arrest, and you step in with this and pull this out, you're going to get shot by him, and he's going to be totally legally justified. I only want to pull things that look like a gun when I'm pulling a gun. I don't. Pepper spray can be pepper spray. For home defense, yes, okay, you can use it for home defense inside a controlled environment where obviously you're the defender and not the aggressor. For animal control, absolutely, use it for dogs or something like that. For animal control, bears, you know, whatever. But I wouldn't want to put my life on this. And by the way, I've tested these types of systems, not this particular brand, but I've tested these types of systems, as well as pepper spray and everything else. I was an OCAT instructor in the U.S. for 12 years, so I got pepper sprayed almost every month for 12 years straight.
Had a good experience.
Yeah, so we used to do weapons retention drills with pepper spray training at front site. When we trained, the cops would come out there and we'd teach them how to recover their gun or to defend themselves against somebody trying to take their gun after they've been pepper sprayed. So you can fight through pepper spray. You can fight through these pepper gun pellets as well. They sting, like they hurt when they hit you, but you can fight through it. You're not fighting through a couple of rounds of 9mm very easily. That's going to stop you. And I hate to say that. I wish that pepper ball guns and tasers and all that stuff worked as well as a firearm, or even better than a firearm, but they don't. I've seen tasers fail. I've seen cops get killed because their tasers failed. I've seen cops get killed because pepper spray failed. Some people just have a higher tolerance for pepper spray and tasers, especially if they're on drugs.
And also, if I may interject, you and I talk about this all the time, that, you know, you gotta have to know how to use this pepper spray.
Right.
And you know, when it's windy, for example, right? And then you're panic, and then you it might hurt you instead of going through, you know, trying to spray against the attacker, potential threat. The wind goes this way, and then before you know it, you're gonna be the one who's down. Right?
Yeah, that's why, you know, that's why we teach cops how to defend, how to shoot while they have pepper spray in their eyes, because you pepper sprayed someone, now that stuff's flying around in the air, you pull your gun out, things are still escalating, you pull your gun out, and your vision's being hampered by this pepper spray, and you still got to shoot. So that's why we teach that. I've only taught a couple of pepper spray courses here in Thailand, because up until until 2.5 or 3 years ago, it was the cops would arrest you if you had pepper spray on your body, if they caught you with pepper spray. And the reason for that was because protesters were using pepper spray against cops. And so they made it illegal for civilians to have pepper spray. But now it's not frowned upon so much. It's still not legal, but you can get out of it. It's not such a big deal. You're more likely to face a fine or a bribe, I should say, than time in jail. But I love pepper spray, but I know it's not going to work in a lot of scenarios, especially in multiple targets. So if you have 2-3 guys that are being aggressive to you and potentially are armed, or you know they're armed, or they've told you they're armed, if I had the option between pepper spray and gun, I'm going gun.
Yeah, definitely. Now, with that, a couple things. One is that going to irritate them more? 2, is that going to be, God, I lost my train of thoughts right away. I was thinking about this. Irritate them. I think, you know, and then, of course, I also said about, know how to use it, train with it. Right? Yeah,
we know the effects of it. You'd be surprised how many people carry pepper spray and tasers, and they don't know what it's like to get pepper sprayed or tased. And then they get into a situation where they do something really smart, like pepper spray somebody while they're inside their car, and seated inside a car with pepper spray, and then they're amazed at how bad the effects are in this enclosed environment. They can't see, they can't drive, they feel like they can't breathe. So know the effects, indoor and outdoor. What's going
You're
to
basically
happen
buying time also. If you just pepper spray somebody, let's just say that you're not armed, or you
Well,
don't have your gun.
and
You don't want to go.
I'll tell you, if you're going to brandish something, you can brandish pepper spray. It's not a weapon. It's a deterrent. That's all it was ever
Right.
meant to be, as a
Exactly,
deterrent.
exactly. That's what
So-
I'm trying to say. Deterrent.
I've many times told people, look, I'm going to pepper spray you if you don't leave. And as soon as they see the pepper spray come out, their attitude changes and they're very quickly considering leaving. Very rarely have I had people continue to try to be aggressive to me and physically attack me after they know that pepper spray could come out. Unless they're really drunk or high. You know, as long as their rational brain is working, then normally they'll turn away. Let's stay back on situational awareness. Okay,
All right.
so
So, oh wait, it's not this one, is it? No, that's not it.
no,
That's not the
I
one.
want the ATM one.
The ATM one. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got those scenarios. Hold on. Here we go. Hold on a minute. I make a bad PA, Anna. That one. Is that it?
Yeah.
Prevention
Okay.
and avoidance.
All right. So, at the ATM, we've already discussed that, you know, one, don't stand with your face directly towards the ATM machine. Set yourself at a slight angle. Most people are so concerned about guarding their password that they forget that they're guarding their life as well. So you need to, yes, put in your password, your PIN number, whatever, and then turn and look and keep looking left and right and see who's behind you, who's around you, while the machine's processing everything. Okay, and as soon as you get your money, as soon as the money comes out from the ATM, take the money, turn around, put your back to the ATM machine as you put your money away, and look and see who's looking at you. You need to, yes, put in your password, your PIN number, whatever, and then turn. I couldn't hear you very clearly. The sound was not good. He's processing everything. Okay, and as soon as you get your money, as soon as the money comes out from the ATM, take the money, turn around, put your back to the ATM machine as you put your money away, and look and see who's looking at you. Oh yeah. I'm getting a weird echo.
You
All
okay?
right, so yeah, I'm okay. I just heard myself say that whole thing over again. That's weird.
Okay, sorry about that. I don't know.
Anyway.
Okay, go ahead.
Anyway, so then don't try to walk and put things in your pocket, your purse, at the same time. Okay, it's the same thing applies to reloading your gun. Do it from a position of relative safety, right? So you're at the ATM machine, you take your money, turn around, face the world as you put it away, okay, and see who's watching you put your money away. And then once it's away, then move. Okay, once you put it in your purse or your pocket or whatever, then move, and then see who's tracking you, see who's following you. I'm not telling you to be like, oh, is that guy following me? Don't be overly paranoid about it. Just take note. Just look and say, okay, white shirt guy, green shirt guy with a funny hat over there. And then as you start to move, hey, they're moving too. Then you can be aware, right? What's going on. Also, watch out for people on the phone standing near you, because they might not be using. Sometimes they will take the phone up and they'll have the camera open on their phone, and they'll be pretending to talk on the phone as they're actually looking at your keypad. Okay, but worse than that is, even though they're not standing directly next to you and trying to look at the keypad, more than likely they're telling someone, okay, look, she's coming down the street, she's going to round the corner in just a second, okay, jump her now, right? So they give a physical description of you, or they're showing a potential attacker that's down the street away from the ATM that you're on the way towards them, right? So they use it as a way to not physically be there, and then have somebody attack you at your car or at the next location or in a place that they feel there's no CCTV coverage. So they're setting you up for an ambush. If somebody's on the phone while you're at the ATM machine, be aware and change your pattern of travel, right? So this will really throw them off. Put your money away, start walking in the direction you would normally walk, turn around, come back like you forgot something at the ATM machine, come back, and then cross the street or go a different direction for a little while and then come back to the original direction. You watch how people shuffle and move as you move around, and especially true if you're pulling out any large sums of money. I mean, if you're pulling out $20 and they can see that you're pulling out $20, they're probably not going to hit you. But if you're pulling out $300-$400, they're probably going to hit you up. So this also all applies in shopping malls as well. Even though there's CCTV cameras, criminals know CCTV cameras don't stop crime. They simply record it. So yeah, they just document it after it's happened. And if they think, I've got my COVID mask on, I got my hat, my hoodie on, I'm good. You can't tell who I am. And they're probably right. So don't think criminals are stupid. Be aware of your environment at the ATM. Okay, out in a park. The next one, to walk in the park. All right, this one, walk at the appropriate times. Obviously, most people don't want to walk at noon because the sun's shining and it's hot and, there's no shade. But if you're going to walk morning and evenings, don't go too early, don't go too late. Be aware of where the shadows are, the big, large clumps of trees that you have to pass. Women, if you're walking out in nature, don't do it when you're on your period. If you're out in nature, because of animals more than anything else.
Oh, that's right.
I had a very good friend of mine killed by a mountain lion because she was on her period and she went out for a run in a national park. So be aware. That's again situational awareness of your body. Okay, be aware of how you're dressed and what you're carrying, and if it hinders your movement or helps your movement. Okay, so women like to go out and they like to wear yoga pants. God bless them. I love it too. But the simple fact is, in a rapist's mindset, that triggers some things. Okay, that sets off some things. Also, it lets them know what you're carrying. If you're wearing skin-tight clothes and you put a cell phone in your pocket, they can see it's a cell phone. If you're wearing skin-tight clothes and they can see that you're not carrying a firearm, you're not carrying a knife, you're not carrying a pepper spray, they know. Okay? So be aware of that. All right? How you dress affects the way people react to you and way predators will want to prey on you. Okay, so
they have a lot of David, they have a lot of sophisticated, really outfits or whatever that you're saying, yoga outdoor. I mean, they have some cute ones, and you can conceal your weapon. I mean, again, this is state law. Follow your legal all of the state law rules and everything. If you go to nature and everything, or not.
Yeah.
But just so you know, I do carry.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying in general, for most women that go out, make sure that you're dressed in a way that you can carry and conceal, and also that doesn't entice people,
Right. Brandishing all this.
Well, yeah, or unintentionally, people are psychotic predators. Like there's rapists are the worst humans in the world. They're terrible people, and there's certain things that will trigger them off. I hate to use the word trigger, but it will activate something in their brain that says, well, if she's doing this, I'm justified to do that, right? In their mind, whether it's reality or not, it doesn't matter. Okay, so I see a lot of girls, they like to go out jogging wearing just yoga pants, carrying just their phone and maybe a water bottle, and they're wearing a sports bra top. That's great, that's wonderful, but where you're going, is that the best for the environment that you're going to be going into? Probably, maybe not. And don't go alone. Don't go out in public parks walking alone. This is not advisable for anyone, male or female, young or old, doesn't matter. If you're going to go hiking, don't hike alone. If you're going to go long distance running, don't run alone. Unless you're armed and capable and trained. I used to go and do 16-mile runs out behind front sight, but I'm carrying a handgun at minimum with me when I do it. And that's for the wildlife, not just the rednecks. But did run into some tweakers out there a couple of times, and they didn't mess with me because it was obvious I was armed. All right. Parking garage, public
Oh,
parking.
yeah, public parking garage. Public
Okay.
parking.
All right. There's
Kinda
a lot of
shady over there. Shady. Look at that. I wouldn't want it.
yeah. So
What would you do?
anyhow, this is a lot of people do things already that they don't realize can improve their situation in public parking. A lot of people like to park as close as they can to the place that they're going to enter, right? Because they're lazy and they don't want to walk far. And that's good, because that also means there's a higher probability you're going to be nearer to other people, nearer to the door, and you're reducing the amount of transitional space that you're using. So yes, park as close as you can to the place that you're trying to enter. Reduce the time that you're in this transitional space. Second, if you can park in a space that doesn't have cars on your left and right, where there's an opening, the parking spots on your left and right are, park there. This allows you, one, to be able to open the door all the way, and two, run without being channelized so easily if you need to run. It gives you some space to move. All right, so we teach this in a bodyguard class as well. Do not park so close to walls that you have to squeeze in and squeeze out, especially if you've been under any kind of threat from an ex-boyfriend or ex-wife or a business partner or anything like that that's threatened your life. Don't put yourself in a place where you're going to be channelized so easily and corralled so easily. Look for places that are well lit, that have a lot of lighting. Park near CCTV cameras. It is a deterrent to criminals. It doesn't stop them, but it is a deterrent. Park near stairwells or elevators that have access up and down quickly. And scan the parking garage when you're driving in to park and when you're coming out to go back to your car. Step out in the parking garage. Take a little while to look around. Is anyone sitting in a car that's not running? They look like they've been sitting there for a while. Windows down, door open, engines off, smoking cigarettes, drinking water, hanging out. Look like they've been there a while. Who are they waiting for? What are they waiting for? Mm-hmm. Okay. A very common tactic for kidnappers is to park next to your car and wait for you to come to your car, especially in a van or a Suburban or any kind of hatchback vehicle, and then ambush you. They'll wait inside their car and ambush you when you come to your car and pull you into their car and then take off. And normally this requires two people, a driver and an ambush or attacker. Okay. This is especially common with children. So something that you'll see for kidnaps is there'll be a car parked en route to wherever you need to go in your parking lot, right? So you're going to your car, you're going to your friend's car, and there'll be another car stopped along the way with the door open. And then there'll be someone on the opposite side of your lane of walking that will try to push you into this car that has the door open. Okay? And again, this is normally like a two-person team, a kidnap team. Minimum two people. It's very hard to do it as a one person. To push somebody in, lock the car, keep them in the car, and then get in and drive. It's very difficult to do. It does happen with children that it can be one person, but usually if it's adults, it's going to be two people. So watch out.
You know that.
Yeah. So yeah, travel impacts. So watch out for groups of people hanging out in the parking garage in the direction of your travel to your vehicle, to or from. Um, and let's see, when you get to your car, take a minute to look at your car. Look underneath it. Look behind it. Walk around it. I do this with my kids all the time. Because I'm a parent, I have to put a stroller in the back of the truck, and I got to look for toys that kids might drop or shoes they kick off as they're getting into the car. So I end up looking around my car quite a lot. Um, criminals will do little things to, uh, to gain access to you or to get your attention. One thing is in America, most people drive in nose first into the car parking spaces, and when they walk up to their car, they don't look around the vehicles. So criminals will put Coke cans under the tire, aluminum cans and bottles and things like this underneath the wheel. And when the person goes to drive out, they think they've hit something. There's a crunch sound. So a lot of times they'll get out and they'll look. As they're getting out to look, the criminal will try to run out from a hiding place and jump in the driver's seat, because you get out and you leave the engine running, right? Or you leave the keys in the ignition. So they'll try to jump out and do that kind of stuff. If you think you've hit something, stay in your car. Look around first. Take a few minutes. Keep the doors locked. That's another thing. As soon as you get into your car, lock the doors. Okay, I do it all the time. It pisses my wife off because we'll stop at a gas station. She'll get out to go to the toilet. I'll lock the doors. She'll come back and I'll be busy with the kids, and she'll be pulling on the door outside the car. Hey, let me in. Oh yeah, you got to unlock the door. But criminals use that unlocked doors as a way to get access to you and carjack you as well. So
Somebody said circle the vehicle, which is true. I do that.
yeah, circle the vehicle, walk
Circle the
around
vehicle,
it, walk around it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I normally I just pretend that I'm checking my wheels, so if somebody's like really already taking the field, taking already like watching me whatever I'm doing, I'm just gonna like watch the wheels, just pretend. But yeah, circle the vehicle is so important, guys.
Yeah. So like in Thailand, every gas station you go to is a full service gas station. You don't have to get out of your car to pump gas. In the US, you have to get out of your car to pump gas.
Some
So
states don't. I think up in was it? I don't know what state that is that I went to. In a couple of states in the US, they have the full
Right.
service. Go ahead.
So anyway, if you can use full service, I mean, if it's financially viable for you to use a full service instead of self-service, do it, because it cuts down your time in a transitional space, your vulnerability. So many attacks and robberies happen at gas stations in the U.S. Here it does too, but normally it's because someone will get out of the car and go to the ATM machine or go to the convenience store, and they'll get attacked in that place. But it's parking garage rules apply. So be aware of your surroundings. Watch out other people. When you're in your vehicle, lock the door. My truck, I have a Ford Ranger XLT, and for the gas station attendant to pump the gas, I have to unlock all the doors. I have to hit the unlock button inside the door, inside for the doors, to unlock the gas tank flap. Right? I hate it because I have to wait for that person to go and open the gas tank, and then I can lock the doors again. But sometimes I forget. And that's a window of opportunity for somebody that wants to come and try to carjack me or rob me. And so I really want to complain to Ford about this. But anyway, that's also something that we talk about in our vehicle tactics class that we do. But all right, so let's go back to that slide again.
Okay.
What was the other one? Parking garages, and then what was the last one? You had?
It was park. What else is there? Hold on a minute. Give me a second here. Guys, connect with David. He is on other social media. What is it that you are on? LinkedIn, Instagram, but LinkedIn more so.
Yeah, mostly I don't really look at Facebook anymore, but I'm on Messenger all the time.
Messenger? I didn't know that. I know you're on LinkedIn. I'm not on Facebook.
I'm on LinkedIn, but I don't go in and check my messages as much on LinkedIn as I probably should.
Okay.
But things that pop up automatically on my phone and get my attention, that's an app we use in Thailand called Line, and WhatsApp, and then Facebook Messenger and Instagram. They all pop up and get my attention. All right, concert. Oh my goodness, concerts are
Public
nightmares.
concert's a nightmare. Tell
Okay.
us, because you're in the security space. You know.
All right, I've got about less than 20 minutes left, and I've got to go. I've got
We
another.
were gonna do only 30 minutes, Dave.
Okay.
And then we went
All
over.
right.
But go ahead.
So real quick about concerts. So we would do security for these EDM concerts, electronic dance music concerts, and there'd be 20,000 people at these events. Okay. And it's not like a normal concert where people are listening to one particular song and they're singing along with the singer and they're dancing and it's more subdued, right? These are just techno music pumping away, bam, 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 as fast as they can do it. And people are drunk, they're on drugs, they're dressed very seductively or very strangely, and they're just there to go nuts. They're really there to go crazy. So we would do this. We would control what's called the pit, which is along the barricade, which is along the front of the stage. And then some concerts, we wouldn't have the main floor. It would be another company that had the main floor. But on the concerts where we had the main floor, we would have up to 100 people for a concert. And that's because it's such a high threat environment for things to go wrong. Like I said, people are drunk, people are high, their inhibitions are lowered or non-existent, and they will do anything. So I have a core team of guys that are seasoned professionals at this stuff, and I would take those guys and we would do what we call crowd penetration patrols. The crowd gets packed so tightly together you can't see inside of what's going on. Even if you're above looking down, you can't see what's going on. And so I will take 4 of us, and we'll just form a little line, and we'll just kind of serpentine or centipede our way through the crowd and see what's going on. We have found women being raped in the middle of a crowd. They've passed out drunk, and guys are taking their turns. We found men being raped in the middle of a crowd by women as well. We found a lot of drug use. We found people fighting, people who've been beaten up and left unconscious in the middle of the club or in the middle of the crowd. We found people who were so drunk they didn't know that they had broken their ankle while dancing, and they're dancing on a broken ankle. So to be in these environments, is your situational awareness is going to be very, very low, and it's going to be limited to like literally inches from you. What's going on? It's very easy to be attacked. At the events that we did, we would screen everybody with metal detectors, and we would pull things off of people. We had on a 20,000 person event, we had 6 boxes, like milk crate sized boxes, full of knives, batons, chains, lasers that are in a baton format, right? So it's in a metal body. We did find some guns. We found some zip guns, which are 22 caliber, or 25 caliber, or 380 little guns in a pipe. They look like an ink pen. So we found all of these kind of things that were legitimate weapons or could be used as weapons. And we confiscated them. We told all the people you can come back and get them afterwards. And very few people came back and got them because they were sacrificial weapons that they had brought either to carry out a criminal act against somebody or to defend themselves against somebody carrying out a criminal act against them. So concerts, very high threat level, and to go there and drink alcohol is just, you're putting yourself in severe danger. We've stopped kidnappings. At almost every large event, we've stopped a female from being kidnapped. We've stopped a male from being kidnapped because they get drunk, or drugged, and they're inebriated, and they don't know what's going on, and two guys are carrying them out, or one guy's carrying them out, and they're like, "I'm their friend. I'm going to take them home." Okay, what's their name? Where do they live? Okay. Then you find that person's ID or their phone, and you pull it out, and you're holding the ID, and you're asking his friend who's going to take him home, "What's the address? Where's this guy live? What's his name?" Right? They don't know. "Okay, you leave him here. I'm going to take him to the medic. You guys can leave, or I can arrest you for attempted kidnap. Which do you prefer?" They'll leave every time. Okay, and it's same thing with girls. And girls, sorry, but they do a lot of really dumb stuff. They go there wearing next to nothing.
Yeah.
All they're carrying is maybe their phone, not even IDs. If they've already pre-bought their ticket, their wristband, they're not even going to bring their ID, especially if they look like they're over 22 or 25. They're not going to have anything on them. And so if we ask the guy, "What's her name?" and he takes even a second to reply, we're like, no. Or we tell him, "Okay, call a friend, a mutual friend of the two of you that can verify that the two of you know each other." Okay, because they're carrying a woman that's passed out.
Right.
What are they going to do? Yeah, they're going to kidnap her and rape her.
Rape. Yeah.
If she's lucky, it'll just be rape, right?
Right.
So,
It's gross.
we stop that kind of thing all the time. So, going to concerts, be super situationally aware. Know where all the exits are. Know where the medical services are. Every concert is usually required to have EMTs, ambulance on site, at least one. Right? Normally we'd have 4 for these big events. We'd have 4 ambulances, and we'd have close to 20 EMTs, and we have a medical station set up. Okay. Also,
Is it paranoid, Dave, if you, before you go to a concert, you already know, like you said, you probably paid it online, you already have a pre-ordered, ticket. Would it be like paranoid if you were to go to their website and look at the facility, how it looks like, where they are,
no,
like the layout? I think
no,
it's only
no.
smart. It's only
No,
smart.
it's only smart. It's only smart. Most people choose their seat or their location or their section online anyway. But
Right.
they don't really take into consideration where's the medics, and
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to
where
say.
is the security going to be located, and where's the exits. Really, where's the exits? So we had an event where it was a 20,000 people event, and there's at least 10,000 people trying to push up closer to this DJ, Steve Aoki, the big DJ, and the whole crowd is pushing, and they are literally crushing several hundred people against the barricades in front of the stage. So we had to go in. We had to first stop the concert. I had to signal to Steve Aoki, "Stop the concert," and he stopped, and he said, "Everybody back up and breathe." And then we still had to send in 10 guys to drive a line and push people apart, because there were people getting crushed by the weight of several thousand people against the barricades. And so we had to go and pull people out, and that we had to pull people over the barricades to relieve pressure, right? Just to have some overflow. So we'd pull them over the barricades and then send them back around to the back of the crowd. Right? And so we had to do that kind of stuff. So it's cool to be close to the front of the stage, but be aware, you can get crushed there. People have died at concerts by being crushed, not trampled, crushed by other people. They can't breathe, and they asphyxiate because they get packed so tightly under the weight of thousands of people. So it's, when you're picking your seat, you're picking your location. Be aware of where the exits are. Be aware of where security is going to be. Be aware of where medics are going to be. And have an exit plan if things go south, right? And don't drink to the point of stupidity. Really, don't drink till you're inebriated. Don't take drugs. Have some drinks, that's fine. But remain conscious of what's going on around you and aware.
Moderation is always key.
Yeah, everything in moderation. right? And I've seen a lot of people come and have a fantastic time, and I've seen a lot of people come in and end up very near death. Weird stuff happens at concerts. We did one, it was an indoor concert in a giant warehouse. It had a tremendous amount of bass coming from this DJ's soundtrack, and an air vent the size of a manhole cover fell off from up above, from 60 feet up in the air. This thing vibrated loose, fell down, knocked the girl unconscious, just 10 feet the other side of the barricade. Fell down and hit her, bam, knocked her unconscious, cut a dude's face. And it was a challenge for us to climb over 30, 40 people to get to them and then pull them out over the barricade and take them to the medics. So think about that. What happens if I'm here in this area and I get hurt or I pass out? Who's going to take care? Who can see me? Who's going to take care of me? Right? How can I survive this fun event? You know. So that's why you see a lot of VIPs do the right thing for them, and they pay more for the VIP seat to have a separation and an elevated view over the crowd, and to have their own personal space, because they're taking their safety into account, not just the cool factor and the comfort of being not smashed in the crowd, but they're taking their safety into account. And so when we take celebrities to these events, and we've taken quite a few, we also tell them, look, get a VIP seat, and actually we tell them to book not just their spot, especially if they have any kind of entourage. We tell them to book their table plus the tables to the left and right of them, so that we have a security cushion around them. We have space around them, and we do like that. So yeah, be aware of the exits.
We may not be 100% prepared at any given time, guys, but this is really through well preparedness and proper training. That's why we have somebody like you to teach this kind of thing. And then, you know, I teach whatever I can in whatever capacity. This just reducing the risk of getting hurt, right? Just the caveat to all of this is really common sense. Apply common sense. I mean, there's a lot of common sense that you were like expressing in your share, you know, throughout the this whole session. It's like common sense. You know, you go out to the concert and you don't wear anything next to nothing, and then you don't bring any kind of like safety measures, right, to protect you just in case of anything, right? And then when you are so drunk and then overly, you know, really getting really, you know, like with the moment. I mean, you gotta have to stay conscious. How about that? In a public concert like this one, you know, like we hear horrible stories about this stuff. You gotta have to have a plan B, exit. You know your exits all the time. Know your exit.
Yeah, never go to a concert alone.
Exactly.
Also. And make sure you don't leave alone. Travel to the bathrooms in groups.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, the bathroom.
Men and women. Guys will go to the restroom by themselves. I've seen some crazy stuff happen to dudes going to the restroom, bump into the wrong guy or stare at the wrong chick, and end up in a fight. Not with just one person. Normally they're in a fight with him plus his buddies, right? Or him plus his chick. And I'm like, what did this fight start over? Well, he looked at my girlfriend's butt.
Yeah, something like that, right? Look at my.
And and then I looked at the girlfriend, and I'm like, the way she's dressed, everybody's looking at her butt. So he just picked this guy to vent his frustration about his girlfriend's choice of attire on, right? So anyway, it's
most likely they're all drinking already.
They're almost everybody's drunk,
right?
And in Thailand, we faced things that you would never see in the U.S. Like we caught cops selling drugs inside an EDM concert.
Wow.
And we had to kick them out. And they're armed. And some of them are plain clothes and some of them are in uniforms, and they're defending each other. You know, they're going to stick up for each other. But we got to remove them from a venue where they're selling cocaine inside this venue. And so we deal with crazy stuff like that here that you wouldn't have to deal with in the States. I don't I did a lot of event security in the U.S. as well, and never ran into problems with
Crazy stuff
police
over there. Yeah,
doing
it's
stuff.
prevention and avoidance. So yeah, plan A, avoid, create that distance. And
Right.
you know, in firearms community, we always say distance your best friend in any given circumstances, actually, right?
Right. So yeah, for your daily situational awareness, anybody that comes within 10 to 15 feet of you should be popping up on your radar in a public space, right? You should be aware of them. You
Right.
know, most people say double arms length. Well, double arms length is like 1 second away from you if they choose to attack.
Pretty much.
And due to what we call the OODA loop,
It's covered over here too, but
right.
not on
So
this session.
the OODA loop is the amount of time it takes for you to orientate and decide a course of action for something that's happened, right? Observe, orient, decide, and take action.
Mhm.
That most people have at their fastest about 1.5 seconds
Something like
to
that,
react to
right?
something.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if a bad guy has decided to attack you and he's already in motion and you see it coming, it's going to take you 1.5 or 2 seconds to react. Okay, so that's why we tell everybody keep everybody at double arm's length or more, right? 6 to 10 feet. I tell people 10 to 15 feet because that's the 21-foot rule. I see you put that on. I've got 2 minutes left for this conversation.
That's okay.
Um,
That's okay.
20-foot rule also still not really far enough if somebody wants to attack you. I've done countless demonstrations of knife versus firearm for this, for trying to draw the gun from the holster to show that anything that 30 feet people can still get you, most people, before they can get the gun out and get good hits on target. Okay, so you need to have that big bubble, 360-degree bubble around yourself. And anybody coming inside that bubble, you need to kind of assess them, profile them a little bit, figure out if they're friend or foe or just a sim walking through your environment, and then decide what to do about them. Right? Always create distance of any threat. So if somebody starts talking trash to you, don't go closer to them. Get farther away. And if they keep coming after you, tell them to stop.
Always look at for their hands, all the time, hands. Right. So create that distance, guys. How does your time look like?
Create distance, create barriers. I got a minute, less than a minute, so I gotta jump out of here.
Yeah, I know. It's been really wonderful, by the way, Dave. I didn't even know. I didn't expect that you're going to be here holding the fort for for this long. As always, it's always a pleasure, guys. Is there any last comment that you want to share with the group? I know there are a lot of people here.
Thank you, Kim. I see your message.
Okay. Yeah,
and then,
guys.
And I see all the messages up here as well from Dave
and good.
Pending and all that stuff.
Guys,
and
there's
some good advice there as well. There's some good advice coming.
Yeah, let's thank David Gray, guys, and insert a comment there to thank him. He's really a busy. I know he's a busy young man. Busy young man. Brave, trust me.
I'm getting messages from my next meeting saying we're waiting for you. Come in now. So
all right,
guys.
Thanks
for coming.
Very much.
Take care. Thank you, David. Thank you, Nicky. I haven't met you yet, but I hope I do someday. Love you guys.
All right, bye guys.
Thank you guys. Bye guys. Bye. Thank you so much. Stay vigilant. Bye. Stay safe and stay just vigilant, guys. Always watch your back, watch your 6, we call it. In fact, watch your 9, watch your 3, watch your 12. Same condition yellow as always. But yeah, I'm going to cover all of this in the next time, guys. Just be on our mailing list or things like that. And you know where to find me, right, these days. So yeah, thank you so much. Couldn't see anybody here. I think there's only 6. Okay, half a dozen of you still here. Thank you, guys. And I didn't expect it's going to run about over an hour. I know it's going to be a little bit after 30 minutes, but I didn't think it was going to be an hour. So for those of you still here, thank you. And then just stay connected. Check out the SA365.nickydare.com. We'll do this again. And then we'll probably put together like a program, and then you guys can join in. Thank you so much. All right, guys. Oh, there's Dave. Dave Brown is here. All right, you're quite welcome, my dear. All right, guys, that's it. And I gotta chow down here because I'm hungry. All right.
Thank you, everyone. Take care.
Take care,
Heading off.
guys. Good night. Good night.